The Citizen Report is a production of New Shannon Media. All content protected under copyright. This is the Citizen Report with Jonathan Shannon.
And welcome to the Citizen Report. I'm Jonathan Shannon, and thank you for joining me tonight. As always, this newscast is real in-depth American. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always good to be back with you. I'm doing the show tonight from my bedroom. You might be wondering why, but basically I'm taping this really late. It's about 12:29 a.m. Early Sunday, July 18th. So I'm doing it late this time. I understand that. But I just thought I'd do it here instead of walking out to the other building. And, frankly, it's hot. It is so hot here in the Carolinas right now. And even though I got a big fan, I'm just like, forget it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it in here, and I'm tired anyway. So I'm just doing it in my bedroom tonight. And longtime viewers will remember I used to do the show in from this room anyway. So anyways, but the other thing I want to say before I get going here, and that is I still have an active strike against my YouTube channel. So I stress that if you have not found alternative ways to get this broadcast, I suggest you do so as soon as possible, because I cannot guarantee that this channel will still be around long term. I will be here as long as they let me be here. However, long term, we will be moving the show. We will be moving the show to a different platform. Okay, and this channel will become where we'll post teasers, short snippets, basically to kind of pique your interest in watching the full episode on whichever platform we end up on. Now, I'm not quite ready to finalize the details on this. I will just say that I'm planning to start doing more like a quick cast sort of deal, where I basically do a show where I'm basically doing a rundown of headlines, and it'll be basically like a newscast. I'm just giving you straight headlines, really no commentary. I have not finalized those details, and probably that's not going to happen until a little further down the road. I'm probably going to hold that off until after the rebrand is fully implemented. We have a new logo waiting in the wings. We have new graphics package that's being developed, I think. There's probably other elements that will need to be worked out. So I'm going to go ahead and wait to get all those things worked out before we make a move or something. But just understand that we're in a time of change here. And at the same time, I'm having to walk this very fine line on what I say about the 19 thing and about the November situation, shall we say. I've had now a total of 2 videos this year removed by YouTube. The first one had to do with the 19 thing, and that one earlier this year landed me a warning, basically. But this time, the second time, I had a strike issued against my channel. The video that time, they cited that I said things about the November thing that I shouldn't have said. It's ridiculous. But by the grace of God, I'm still here, and I'm just telling you, you need to find a different way to get the Citizen Report. I know I'm kind of making a big deal of it, and I need to get to the things I'm going to talk about, but I really need you to understand that I may suddenly disappear. It won't be because I did it, it'll be because YouTube did it. I hope that's not the case. And again, I'm only on the first strike, but there's no guarantee, because YouTube is so arbitrary in their rules enforcement. But I just want to remind you, and this is the kind of thing I should say for the end of the show, but I feel like I need people to really get this, so I'm just going to tell you up front. Be sure to go to the Citizen Report on Facebook. Look for the page that has our logo, because that is the page that's us. There's other pages that have, similar names and things. The Citizen Report, as in this, Citizen Report, the Citizen Report, it's going to have our logo. Now, of course, down the road, we're going to be changing out over to the new logo. I haven't publicly unveiled it just yet, but you get the idea. Just be sure to look for the one that's us. Like the page. If you're not on Facebook, just still get the link for it, and that way you can keep tabs on what we're doing. Facebook so far seems to be a little less aggressive right now, a little less aggressive on taking things down. I remember back in January, they basically blocked my ability to go live, because for a while during the height of just before Biden was installed, I'll just put it to you that way, I was doing nightly live streams. I was trying to do nightly live streams on a particular Christian online group to try to give everyone a sort of a briefing. It was a very informal thing, and I was also doing that over on YouTube for the Citizen Report. At least on one occasion I did a live show. My point being is that all kinds of craziness happened in January, and yes, Facebook really went hardball with the censorship then. So Facebook is certainly not perfect, but so far in my experience, Facebook has fared better than YouTube has, because YouTube is just not kidding around. They're going to pull things down left and right at this point. Doesn't mean I'm going to take it for granted on Facebook, but just understand that seems to be a reliable fallback right now for us. So just be sure to go to Facebook. If for some reason that goes down, be sure to remember our website, thecitizenreport.weebly.com, and go to that website, and that is pretty much a guaranteed way of getting to our content if something should happen elsewhere, and also our domain that I actually own, citizenreport.tv. There's no "the" there. It's just citizenreport.tv. Okay. So having said all that, I'll just tell you right now, I'm doing this. I'm basically recording this with the camera on this. I got it hooked into this webcam hooked into this laptop. So I'm just going to be kind of providing some commentary. I'm not running this through the software. The XSplit thing. I'm just going to be giving you sort of my opinion, because I know it's been a little bit now since I've really done any unique content. I did that introduction to show, in showing you what I said back on Independence Day, because that's when I got censored. And I did that because I couldn't post it then on YouTube, so you understand why. But this is really, I'm just kind of updating you on what's been going on in a very general 30,000-foot view kind of sense, and I have to be very careful what I say, as I keep saying. Regarding the situation in Arizona, we're starting to get some information, and I'll just say, I have to be careful what I say, but it's basically a confirmation, yes, things happened out in Arizona. Okay? They're putting numbers out there, and we're going to get more information as time goes on. I'm going to pull something up on Facebook right now. I'm just going to throw a number out there, and again, if I sound vague, it's because I'm trying very hard to be very careful how I phrase things, because I don't want algorithms to pick this up. But I want you to really understand that basically Arizona's been undergoing, you have to understand, there's a process where they just sort of recount things, and then there's a process where they actually examine things, okay? And I like the analogy that X22 Report says, and I'm pronouncing that way again to avoid algorithms, hopefully. He likes to use the analogy of you got 30 apples, okay? You look at the apples. If you just count them at face value, you're like, yep, there's 30 apples here, and but then you take those 30 apples and you examine them. Like, okay, this one's an apple. You set that aside. You pick up another apple. You start scratching it. Oh, wait a second. There's paint on here, and it's actually an orange. Okay, let's look at this one. Oh, that's a glass apple. It's not a real apple. Set that one down and pick another one up. And you get the idea. Okay, and that's what's been going on in Arizona. Okay, so there's a number here, And to be totally transparent with you, I can't. The way I'm doing this tonight, I can't share my screen. If I was running it through the XSplit software, I could, but with this particular webcam, for whatever reason, there's a lot of lagginess with the camera, so I decided to just do it straight on camera with me here tonight. But according to Hank Sullivan, this was a post he made on July 15th. According to what he said, and I'm basing this off of what he said, Arizona Today, 74,243 basically, okay, so let me say that number again, 74,243. That's a number of the forms, shall we say, that you fill in that were supposedly done, and yet there was no record that they were ever sent, basically. So there's a discrepant. There's that number of forms. Basically, there's no record of saying, okay, the people. I don't know if the proper way to say it is they requested it or it was just sent out versus what we actually got back. Okay, I'm trying to keep it vague. Hopefully you get the drift of what I'm trying to say. So we'll get more information as time goes on. We're already hearing that other states are going to probably start doing their own stuff sooner than later. So I think things are trending in the right direction in that department. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Now I'm going to switch gears now and talk about the 19 situation. We know that they're talking about this huge, unbelievable spread of stuff, of this thing. Well, first of all, what gets me is that you've got these people that are talking about this thing. Okay, look at your screen. I can't use the word, but you get the drift. Okay, if they're so scared right now, then if you got it, this thing, then why are you so worried about those of us that just want to rely on, allow nature to take its course with our immune system and stuff? And they're trying to guilt trip, saying, oh, the people that didn't get this and the people that are spreading misinformation online, they're the bad people. It's absolutely preposterous. And we have the purported White House press secretary Jen Psaki basically say, let me see if I can pull it up here. Now this is a article from 2 days ago at FoxNews.com. Headline reads: Critics slam the White House after Psaki reveals it's consulting with Facebook to flag misinformation. And the article starts off with this sentence: Critics roundly condemned the White House after Press Secretary Jen Psaki revealed the Biden administration is working with Facebook to flag problematic posts that spread disinformation on, I'm not going to say it, I'm just going to say 19. Okay? And then it says, on Thursday, Psaki was asked a question regarding the Biden administration's request for tech companies to be more aggressive when policing what they referred to as misinformation. Psaki revealed that the White House is in regular touch with social media platforms to handle it. So first of all, let me say this about that. So basically they're admitting that we basically have a ministry of truth at this point. With the social media platforms, they're basically saying, they're basically saying that you're not allowed to question anything. If you hold up 2 fingers and you say, if you hold up 3 fingers, for instance, and you say, oh, there's only, and a rational person would look at these 3 fingers and say, oh, there's 3 fingers here. But they're saying, you are wrong because there's only 1 finger here. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, but that's what I'm saying. This is what it's come to at this point. And I have I saw something earlier today from, I'm not going to get too specific, but shall we say someone in the Christian ministry stuff. And he was basically getting at talking about how the 19 thing is going around in areas that where people haven't done this. Okay, I don't know if I'm summarizing that fully in a fully accurate sense, but that's the essence that I gleaned from what he was talking about. And it just astounds me. It astounds me that there are actually people in the Christian ministries, that are completely lacking discernment. But I'm just saying, if you are going to be in the ministry, if you're going to be influencing a group of people, anybody, in from a Christian ministry standpoint, I mean, you have to be discerning. But if you're just getting your information from mainstream sources, that is insane. And I'm sorry, but that's just dumb foolery right there. Okay? I mean, God bless him, but he's just wrong. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Even Christians even a number of Christians are being fooled by the mainstream Mockingbird media. Because the mainstream Mockingbird media is putting out a bunch of dumb foolery out there, saying that, oh, you're going to kill grandma. I mean, this is what gets me. This is what gets real under my skin. They start off by saying that we need to shut things down for, what was it, 14 days or 15? I don't remember what it was, like 14 days to slow the spread, okay? And even then, right at the outset, I was like, this is not good, because what they're doing is they're going to start increasing. They're not going to give it back. I don't remember exactly what I said at the time, but I was on Facebook, and I even had a Christian on there basically tell me that, oh, we just need to not overwhelm the hospitals. I don't remember if that's exactly what he said, but I was like, and then it's like the next thing I knew, we were just kicking the can down the road. We were keeping things shut down, and next thing I knew, this stuff was being mandated, which they're not allowed to do. Constitutionally, they're not allowed to do it. And shame on these sheriffs for not taking a bolder stand to nullify any unconstitutional order. I mean, I'll just say, now, there have been sheriffs in this state, not all of them, but there have been some that basically said, we're not going to enforce this. But at the same time, it was empty words, because all these stores kept requiring it. And I know that on the one hand, they are technically private businesses, yes. But there's a couple of things I'll say about that. First of all, if you're taking taxpayer money, or if you're getting any grant, if you're getting any benefit from the government, that makes you something less than a truly private business, okay? And second of all, if you are open to the public, and I encourage everyone to go, I'm trying to think of her name, Peggy Hall, the Healthy American. She talks about this. She was one of the leading voices on YouTube talking about your rights, that we have the right to breathe freely. And she was basically talking about, if a business, and I hope I'm summarizing this correctly, but basically, and you could go check her out to make sure what I said is fully accurate. But what she basically was getting at was, if a business was open to the general public, if it's a public place, then they cannot discriminate against you if you don't do this. They're not allowed to ask you why you're not doing this. And let me tell you something, and this is me talking here. I just saw something a few hours ago out in California, Los Angeles County. I think it's Los Angeles County. They're going to start making people do this again. So tell me something. If this really was the holy grail of science that they say it is, then why are they going back to this? Okay? And I know, I don't know what the exact count is, I think 45% plus or minus of people have done this, okay? I don't care, frankly, what the numbers are. If you've done this, why are you so worried about what I do? I'm a man made in the image of God. Okay? I have the right to breathe fresh air, and I'm frankly sick and tired of these people that will not get off their dead butt when it matters. And they're so complacent. They're whatever. Oh, like this TV over here. That whatever this says, that's what they believe. Oh, let me turn on CNN, and that's what I believe today. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is not the way our founding fathers were. The people that founded this country, by the grace of God, let me tell you something. The Declaration of Independence, and I'm at least partially, maybe fully borrowing this thought from my pastor. He was fully right on this, and I'm not sure if I'm summarizing this right. But basically, you cannot tell me that the Declaration of Independence, you cannot tell me that it was not inspired by God, because if you read it, it is all about God-given rights. Okay? And look at what these people at the CDC, and this is me talking here, the people at the CDC and these other tyrannical people, they're basically saying that you're not allowed to decide again whether to do this or not do this, whether to do this or not do this, that we will tell you when you can or can't do it. It was like there was a store, and I'm sure it's not the only one. There's a number of stores out there that says that, oh, if you've done this, you no longer have to do this, but if you haven't done this, you still have to. And they basically, what they say is they either say you have to do this or you have to follow the guidelines from the dumb alphabet agency known as the CDC. Okay? And this is absolutely preposterous. Okay? And this is July 18th, 2021, folks. We've been going at this for over a year. We started this back in around March or so of 2020. Okay? Can you even believe where we're at this point? I do believe that there is a plan, that a lot of this has to do with exposing the deep state and all that stuff. I totally get that, because going back to the November thing, I did not know that the corruption went this far. I suspected there was something very wrong, but I didn't realize it went to this degree. Of course, it kind of confirms the gut feeling intuition of what was likely taking place. And as for this, we're seeing how far these tyrants will go. They will stop at nothing in their pursuit of the New World Order. And I am so sick and tired of people just not questioning what is going on. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. And let me tell you something. God, I guarantee you this, that God wants people to have, He wants me, He wants you to have a sound mind. He wants you to be fully informed, fully understanding of what you need to understand. It doesn't mean that you understand everything. It's like, God's will. You don't understand everything that's down the line, but you understand the next step, okay? And for me, I'm still trying to figure that out, okay? But what I'm trying to get at is that people are not willing to think. It's like I said a moment ago. They turn this thing on, this TV, and they turn it on to some dumb channel like CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, and they're like, oh, I worship thee, these news anchors. They will tell me what I am to think today. Yes, Your Majesty, I will think. They say, oh, I need to wear a mask. Oh, okay, I'll still wear a mask. And I shouldn't have used that word. But my point being is that I have to be careful what words I use. If it sounds like I'm going around in circles, I'm just over this. And you should be too. And the fact that it's like today. I went to a 7-Eleven. I saw a guy literally walking up to the store with this on. And there was literally no sign that I could see that even suggested doing this. And yet there's still people doing this. It's absolutely beyond insanity. And it's like, that Bible verse, it's like that Bible verse. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. We have, and this is me talking, we have liberty from sin. We have liberty from sin. We have liberty to glorify God. And I guarantee you, because I prefer the word liberty over freedom anyway. But we're not supposed to have this situation where there's just tyranny taking place. And of course, we got these people twisting verses like in Romans, I think it's chapter 13, and they're twisting scripture to say, oh, you just need to just do whatever the government tells you to do. Don't question anything. Well, first of all, this country was founded by we the people. We were founded under the Declaration of Independence, recognizing officially that we have certain unalienable rights. And in the Constitution, we have literally the words, we the people, to launch the document. In the 9th Amendment, it basically says that any rights not mentioned here are not prejudiced because, basically certain enumeration of rights in this document doesn't alienate other rights. I know it's said a different way. But basically, you do not have to comply with what these goons, these dumb foolery people, like the Fisher-Price president, for instance, and the border czar known as Kamala. It's like, really, we're going to take advice from these people? Really? They're clearly not in control of anything. They're puppets. Okay? And I am so over this, that people are not questioning what's in front of their eyes. And I think that this thing right here is a real issue. And this gets me so fired up when I see Christians literally telling their own people to do this. Are you kidding me? You're not going to even question what's going on here. And I mean, I mean, I'm not saying, that if you say such a thing that, I'm not accusing you of not being a Christian. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, why in the world would you ever tell a group of people to do something that the world is telling you to do? We're in this world, but we're not of this world. What part of that do you not understand? So, I mean, and by the way, just so you know, if you thought Jesus was always just meek, gentle. I mean, yes, he is meek, he is gentle, he's loving. There's no, I mean, he literally him, taking our place at the cross that we deserved. He took all of our sin at the cross. He took all of our sin at the cross. And he did the most loving thing that ever happened in human history. Okay, that ever will happen. So, but if you think that he was always just, if you thought he was the kind of person that would just go along, and especially if you think he would have just gone along with doing this, especially after all we know about it now, which, by the way, at least depending on which brand you're talking about, they literally have certain, shall we say, aborted this or that, allegedly at least. I can't prove it, but I've heard that being said. If you really thought Jesus would do such a thing, or tell other people to do such a thing, are you kidding me? You know what and if you thought he was always just going along, with what was happening in his society, he literally, I think he took whips, if I'm not mistaken. He turned over tables and drove the money changers out of the temple because they were defiling the temple. Okay? So, I mean, if you even understand that on the most rudimentary level, then for anybody, who was it? Someone out there can correct me if I'm getting this wrong, but wasn't it Franklin Graham that was saying Jesus would have told people to do this, or he would have, whatever about this? He would have, told people to do it? Really? I'm sorry, but that's wrong. But please, for the love of God, I'm just going to say it, for the pure agape love of God, please do your own homework before you just take the word of someone else and think, if it's a Christian, I'm just going to run out to the nearest place. Oh, and by the way, supposedly they're going to start going around to people's homes and ask, hey, have you been vaccinated? Okay? And I'm just going to say this for public record. Don't come here. Okay? Because you're not going to get anywhere. You're just not. I'm just going to slam the door in your face, and if you continue harassing, we'll just call the cops. And I mean the real ones, like the sheriff. I'll just skip on up to the sheriff office, perhaps, okay? Because I think at least our sheriff has, even though he's a Democrat, he at least has said previously he wasn't going to go along with enforcing this thing way back when. So, anyways, don't come here. Do not come here. Okay? Don't come here wanting to do this to me. Okay? That is a bodily threat. And, yeah. We have to speak truth in love. These people, we're dealing with a spiritual war. I hope you people realize that. We're not just dealing with a ridiculous thing like this. We are dealing with a spiritual war. And let me tell you something. If you cannot see that, I'm telling you, you need to understand it. And I'm telling you right now, if you see people out there that are not struggling or not dealing, they're never, they're not having to engage in spiritual warfare, they're either not deemed as a threat by the enemy, or they're dead spiritually. Okay? One or the other. I'm just saying. This is a spiritual war. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities. Okay? And thank God that we have the Holy Spirit indwelling us. We are sealed unto the day of redemption. And the Holy Spirit is our comforter. He produces the good fruits, the fruits of the Holy Spirit, and we have the tools that we need to fight on this spiritual battlefield. I'm telling you, folks, if you cannot see Biden, if you cannot see these people, and if you cannot see this real spiritual war, they are trying to destroy humanity. Okay, that is what this is. Because, and this, I'll start to wrap this up shortly. But let me just say, the enemy, he cannot create anything. He can only try to destroy what God's already created. God created us, out of clay, out of the soil of the earth. If you literally look at the composition of our skin, there's literally minerals. Now tell me something. If we really came from a blob or just some nothingness from Big Bang Theory, then explain that to me. Because we are uniquely have that composition. I'm not saying other creatures, I'm not saying other mammals don't have anything, but I'm just saying there's so much overwhelming evidence that proved that God created this planet, and He created it not through evolution, but He created it through literal creation. He spoke it, He created it. Okay? And let me tell you something. These people, like on CNN or whatever channel that is, national or local, people are so impressed by that. It's like, if you don't have $1 million studio, then you must not be telling the truth. Well, let me tell you something. First of all, God is not impressed with that. Okay? He could literally go like this to the CNN, like CNN. He could go like this, and they'd be obliterated. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm telling you folks, the mainstream media is dying. I hate to break it to you, but it is. And thank God. Thank God that people, some people are starting to wake up. I don't actually want the, TV to completely cease. I think that if good people can get in, can get in the door, then it can be used as a good tool to glorify God. Okay? I'm not saying that TV is inherently a bad thing. But the notion that you can turn on a cable news channel, a mainstream cable news channel, and only there you're going to hear the truth. Actually, it's the exact opposite on average. There are exceptions, yes, of course. Okay? But just understand that you're going to have to be able to discern and understand what's really going on. You're going to have to be able to be your own. You're going to have to do your own homework, or at least be willing to listen to other people that are trying to tell you what's going on. Okay? So, before I wrap up, let me share with you the Bible verse of the day, and that is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. And this is in the King James, and it reads, quote, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Okay? So, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of, in the last few days, I've been so mentally depleted, and I don't know if anyone out there needs to hear this, but I'm just saying, if you wait on the Lord, if you ask the Lord, He will help you. Okay? He is true to His word, and just like this verse says, the phrase, it says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Okay? You see this world. They don't have, the people that aren't saved, they could turn to God at any moment and be saved like that. But as long as they're not saved, they're on their own. They don't have God to appeal to. They can always, God is always, it's not God's will that any should perish, but for all to come to repentance. Okay? And these people that just will not turn to God, they don't have God to appeal to until they're willing to turn to God. But those of us that are Christians, we can literally ask God to help us. Okay? And, so I know that things seem kind of overwhelming right now, but just understand that God is always with us. It may not always feel like it, but God is always with us. And also, remember this, God is always for us. Okay? He wants the very best for us. He's always for us. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I know that it feels like I just rambled a lot, but I hope that you learned. I hope you got something. I hope you were blessed somehow by this episode. Always reach out to me any way that you can. I always like to hear from you. If you have any prayer requests, pass it along to me. If you want to be on this show, also reach out to me, because I'm looking to start doing interviews again. I know I've said in the past I would do a Patriot panel or like a roundtable discussion. It's just been a really crazy time, and it's going to continue being it's going to continue being a crazy time for a number of weeks here. But I'm going to try to start doing interviews again, and I'm going to start eventually having a roundtable. So if you still want to be part of that, reach out to me. If you want to be on the show, reach out to me, and I'll try to get that set up as best as possible. So, on that note, and remember, make sure you have a backup way to reach this broadcast in case suddenly this broadcast disappears. If suddenly something happens to my YouTube channel, have another way to get to the Citizen Report. Get on the text message notification list. To do that, you can either just text me or message me privately your cell phone number, or you can go to thecitizenreport.weebly.com and click on the text alerts button at the top of the homepage. And when you click on that, there's a form for you to fill out. I do not sell your information. I will never sell your information. You have my word. I'm using that to be able to keep contact with you, to let you know links to new broadcasts. If something happens to the YouTube channel, I can also send out a message, say, hey, our YouTube channel's been hit. This is where you need to go. Okay? Eventually, I may try to see about email, but even despite what the Biden allies and the Democratic National Committee wants to do, I still think that text messages are still the most reliable way at the moment, because email, a lot of things can happen to that. So just for now, at least, I'll continue keeping up with I'll continue promoting the text alerts thing. So don't forget to go to the Citizen Report on Facebook. I'm also personally on Facebook. Now, if I don't know you personally, I'm probably not going to accept your friend requests. But you can go to my Facebook page personally. I am there, and you can go to the Citizen Report, which has a Facebook page, out there in the public realm. Okay. So on that note, God bless each and every one of you, and thank you for watching the Citizen Report. And I would like to ask that y'all continue to keep me in your prayers. I really do appreciate that. And reach out to me if you need prayer. I'd be more than willing to pray for you as well. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you for watching the Citizen Report. And I will see you right back here again next time. Have a great night, everyone.